There is a running count today. Every time he calls something the best, the biggest, the greatest, or says nobody has ever seen anything like it, the count goes up. Nobody assigned anyone to keep it. Someone is keeping it anyway. 7:12 a.m. He's already talking before there's anyone in the room to talk to. The first sentence is a compliment. It is directed at nobody. Superlative count, 1. A staffer finds him mid-sentence about a rug. A rug, he says, is the finest rug ever installed anywhere, in any building, by anyone. The rug is beige. Superlative count, 2. He gets dressed while a television plays across the room. Sound off, captions on, 4 seconds behind whatever he's already reacting to. He answers the captions like they can hear him. Downstairs, a chef has prepared exactly what was requested yesterday. He wants something else today. Nobody argues. The plate is quietly remade, faster than should be physically possible, and everyone agrees not to mention that. 8:30 a.m. A call comes in from the leader of a country he pronounces 3 different ways in the same sentence, settling on none of them by the end of the call. He tells the leader their country is doing incredibly well, better than people say, a fact nobody in the room can confirm, since nobody in the room actually follows that country's economy, including probably him. 9:05 a.m. A briefing starts. It is supposed to be about trade numbers. 4 minutes in, it is about a hotel he stayed at once, which he describes as, without contest, the best hotel that has ever existed. Superlative count, 3. 2 floors up, someone is trying to schedule a 15-minute call and has been trying for 6 days. The 15 minutes never survive contact with the actual day. He signs 3 documents without reading them, and 1 document twice, on purpose, because he liked how his signature came out the first time. A junior staffer, 2 doors down, has been asked to find out whether a specific fact he stated in the briefing is true. It is not. The staffer spends the next hour drafting a version of the truth that technically doesn't contradict him. 11:20 a.m. He meets a foreign dignitary he has met 4 times before and greets him as if for the first time, with the exact same joke he told the previous 3 times, delivered with the exact same energy, landing slightly less each time, though nobody would know that from his face. The dignitary's translator has stopped translating the joke. He just nods at the right moment now. Nobody has noticed. Nobody will. Down the hall, 3 different people are drafting 3 different versions of the same statement, each one slightly softer than the last, none of which will end up being the one he actually reads. Noon. Lunch is a hamburger, eaten at a desk, in 4 minutes, while a call plays on speaker that nobody is required to be on, but everyone in the room is quietly listening to anyway. Between bites, he calls the hamburger the best hamburger possibly ever made by anyone, including people who make hamburgers professionally. Superlative count, 4. 1:40 p.m. A rally. Thousands of people, most of whom arrive before sunrise and will leave after dark, for roughly 90 minutes of him on stage. He opens with a story about the crowd size, which he calls, conservatively, the largest anyone has assembled for anything, ever. Superlative count, 5. He goes off the printed remarks within 90 seconds and does not return to them. The teleprompter operator has stopped trying to keep up and is now just scrolling for the sake of scrolling. He tells a story about a man he met once, whose name he doesn't say, doing a job he doesn't specify, in a city he doesn't name, that the crowd nonetheless roars for, because the roaring isn't really about the story. A protester is escorted out. He pauses to comment on the protester's shirt, calls it, unprompted, the worst shirt he has personally ever witnessed on a human being. Superlative count, 6. This one gets the loudest laugh of the day, from everyone except the protester. He closes with a promise that today's rally will be remembered as the single greatest gathering of people in the history of the venue, a claim the venue's actual event calendar quietly disputes, having hosted 3 larger ones this year alone. Superlative count, 7. 3:30 p.m. Press gaggle. A reporter asks about the trade numbers from that morning's briefing. He answers with the hamburger. Nobody follows up on the hamburger. Nobody follows up on the trade numbers either, in the end. A different reporter asks a two-part question. He answers part 1 for 6 minutes and never returns for part 2. The reporter tries once more, gently. He has already moved to a different reporter. By the end of the gaggle, one actual policy position has been stated, reversed, and restated in a form nobody can quite identify as the same position or a new one. A junior aide is tasked with producing a one-page summary of what was actually said, for internal use only. The page comes back mostly blank, with a note at the bottom reading, "Will confirm position once one exists." Nobody laughs, because nobody is entirely sure it was a joke. 5:15 p.m. A photo op with a group of children visiting the building. He tells each of them, individually, that they are the most impressive kid he's met all year, in an order determined entirely by who happens to be standing closest. Superlative count climbs 3 times in 90 seconds, too fast for whoever is keeping the tally to keep up. 6:15 p.m. Dinner, alone at first, at a table built for 12. A television across the room is muted and playing highlights of the rally from 6 hours ago, which he watches while eating, occasionally narrating along with his own speech, slightly ahead of himself. Someone finally joins him for the second course. He restarts the crowd-size story from that afternoon, word for word, superlative intact. Superlative count, 8. The new arrival has not heard it yet, and is, for one dinner only, the luckiest person in the building. He asks the new arrival, genuinely, whether tonight's dinner is the best meal they've ever had in this room. They say yes. It is, technically, the only meal they've ever had in this room. Superlative count, 9. 9:50 p.m. He is dictating a statement to someone typing quickly on a laptop across the table, and stops himself twice to ask if a specific word is the strongest available word, settling, both times, on the same word he started with. The statement goes out at 10:47 p.m. It gets read by more people in the first hour than the actual policy briefing got read all week. And absolutely nobody in the building finds that surprising. He watches the numbers climb for a while in a room that is otherwise completely silent, the kind of silent that only exists after everyone whose job it was to be in that room has already gone home. 11:58 p.m. He is still up. Not because there's anything left to do, there isn't technically, but because the day doesn't feel finished until something is declared the best, biggest, or greatest one more time before it ends. He finds one. A small thing, a detail from the rally nobody else even noticed. He calls it, quietly, to an empty room, the best part of the entire day. Superlative count, 10. Nobody wrote that one down. It happens anyway. The tally sits at 10, uncounted by anyone but True, and tomorrow it starts again at 0, which is the only number that never seems to interest him.